Welcome to Smart in the City, the Babel podcast where we bring together top actors in the smart city arena, sparking dialogues and interactions around the stakeholders and themes most prevalent for today's citizens and tomorrow's generations.
I am your host, Tamlin Shimizu, and I hope you will enjoy this episode and gain knowledge and connections to accelerate the change for a better urban life.
Smart in the City is brought to you by Babel Smart Cities. We enable processes from research and strategy development to co-creation and implementation. To learn more about us, please visit the Babel platform at babel-smartcities.eu.
So welcome to this episode, everyone, recorded live at the Smart City Expo World Congress in Barcelona as part of our media partnership with Fiera Barcelona. So first off, I have to give a big thank you to Fiera. They're our partners on this, connecting us with amazing speakers and some of their VIP guests coming from all over the world to record with me today. And really, it's this is the last day of the event. We're all tired, but yeah, so many great conversations, so much going on. So big thank you for them for hosting us here. Now, we are in Barcelona, but I want to travel for this episode a little bit to France and really understand France's vision for sustainable cities. And for that, we have the perfect guest for you. His name is Gérard Wolf. He's the special advisor to the Minister for Smart and Sustainable Cities in France. Welcome, Gérard.
Well, thank you. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
It's a pleasure to be with you. I think if we talk about sustainable cities, we talk about a lot of different things. It's not the same answer. One size does not fit all in all the countries. As you said, the French view on that is finally very simple. Number one, what the hell are we talking about? We are talking about a city, wherever in the world, where at least you have the four essential services. Four, not 200. Number one is energy. If you don't have energy, you can't do anything in your city. Number two is water, and of course the problem of potable water. Number three is waste management. If you have waste everywhere, you're not going to do something right. And number four, and last one, is transportation. On top of that, of course, everywhere you have the question of health care. But all these four services, we decided a few years ago that we are not bad. French people very often say we are the best. No, sorry, I make it we are the best. So the reality is we are not the best. We are trying to be the best. We are trying to give the best solutions. And again, one size does not fit all. We don't give the same solution whether we talk about Bangkok or Santiago de Chile or Los Angeles or wherever in Africa. By definition, it's different. The answers are completely different. What is the same? Two or three things. Number one, trying to decarbonate as much as we can, everything related with construction. We did it with the Olympics. Olympics was a good test for French companies, by the way, not only French, European companies, because all the tenders are international, to try to get to a new city which could be as much as possible decarbonated. We did it. We promised to the International Olympic Committee that we will go with a carbon footprint divided by 2 on an equivalent of the same size city. City meaning the Olympic Village, etc. All the facilities, 70 of them, 70. We did it. We did minus 47%. And independent agencies, not us giving this figure. So decarbonation. Number two, accessibility. In all the countries, not only in Europe, and sometimes Europe is late compared to other continents, taking care of old people, taking care of blind people, taking care of people with disease, etc., is key for us. Number three, capacitación en español, capacitación, capacity, formation en français, for the local people. You could say, okay, what's new there? Well, the thing which is new is that if you want to have a sustainable city, you must be thinking about building it, but also about the life of the existing facilities. So this is the basics.
This is the basics
Yeah.
of it. Yeah, we're going to get a lot more into that
Sure.
also in depth a little bit later on too. I usually start us off with a little bit of a teaser to get us in the flow. And then I also want to learn a little bit more about you. And then we'll get all into what you were just talking about. Yeah. So let's do it. So just as a little warm up, I want to ask you from your kind of holistic perspective, if you had to choose just two of the following things that I say to maximize in these projects that are being implemented in France, which two would you pick? Impact, simplicity, cost, or time?
Simplicity, certainly. Number one, whatever.
Yeah.
And impact because of decarbonization, etc.
Yeah, sounds good. I thought it would be a bit of a tricky question, but I think you had a clear answer. So good.
Was it a trap?
It's a trap. It's always a trap. I want to learn a little bit more about you and your background. Where did you come from? How did you start getting into all of this? Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a bizarre guy because I'm French, but I'm also Irish by my mother. I'm a rugby player, but this is no interest for people, except it gives the feeling of making things together in a team. I don't know how to play alone, if I can say so, and I'm not playing. And I'm an engineer, biochemistry at the beginning, and then I make some stupid political studies in France. And this, I shouldn't say stupid publicly, but anyway. And then I joined for 20 years the public administration called Corps Préfectoral. And then I went to the biggest energy company in the world called Électricité de France, where I was chief of staff of the president at the beginning, and then I was the member of executive committee in charge of all international. And parallel to this, I joined the MEDEF, which is the French private sector organization gathering 80% of the companies in France. And on top of that, they asked me to be an envoyé spécial, special envoy for sustainable cities à l'international, and also some job about the Olympics, and now I'm chairing also the Heritage Committee of the Olympics 2024. And I'm the most important things. Sorry, but you asked me about me.
Yes.
I'm a grandfather.
Oh, yes.
I'm not young, but a young grandfather of Capucine and Aurore. That's it. So you know everything.
Very good. Very good journey. Very interesting journey. And also love the new grandpa feeling.
Thank you so much.
So congratulations. So you articulated these four essential services, right? Water, waste, energy, and transport.
Yeah.
Can you explain and give us a little bit more detail in how you knit these elements together within a city strategy rather than keeping them as silos? What's your perspective there?
This is seriously, it's a very good question, because this is all the problem. You have, when you build or extend your city, when you retrofit your city, when you think about city, if you say that these services are to be checked or to be designed after your main project, then you're wrong today. Because what is the reality? The reality is the scarcity of resources everywhere in the world. This is not political. This is not, be green just for fashion. It's a reality. And we are under pressure. So we had to put it other way around. Say, okay, the thing we have to do is whatever happens, build new towns or retrofit, but retrofit is not enough. Build new towns have to be thought from scratch as somewhere where you can have these services. And then you build the rest of it. It's other way around. I'll just give you, for the people who are listening to this, I'll just give you one example. Prime Minister Modi in India, 2 years ago, I was leading a delegation over there, and about cities in India, which is an amazing issue. And he said, look, not only that we have babies, but each minute, 24 hours a day, 365 days per year, we have 10 people migrating from rural to urban each minute. So when you think about the fact that today 1.7 billion people, urban people, have no decent cities, it's a must to think the whole thing the right way and to think about this essential services and then build it.
Yeah, I really love your way of thinking about this. So you see how a lot of cities are transforming and how cities are really going on this, let's say, sustainable city journey right now, right? What do you see as the fastest wins for cities? And what do you think tends to need deeper transformation?
I think the deeper transformation is, I'll begin with this, is to inverse the way to think about it, as we said before, meaning that, we know that there's an emergency, but the question is not to say, we'll just build this and then we'll just build this, etc. It's to say, think about before and then build it. You have to have a planning of how many people you can accept or try to find a solution for them, and then build it. But if not, if you're under pressure, which we all are, you can do a lot of those things. The other way around is to think that, well, sometimes I meet, I won't give names, don't worry, but I meet mayors or deputies or whatever, sometimes ministers, very often ministers, saying, okay, I understand what you say, but this takes time, the emergency, AI will help. AI will help if we give AI the right inputs. AI is our object. It's not AI who will decide it.
Yeah.
So, because we are not counting cars or counting bottles, we are counting people. So the reality is that when I meet here, for example, in this splendid Smart City Forum each year, it's very interesting and reboosting, you see, because you see people from all the continents and say, help us, we have to go faster, but we want to go the right way. And it comes to the same conclusion. We have to know, country by country, sometimes inside the same country, city by city, there are big differences in big countries and large countries. What do you want first? Doesn't mean take 5 years to decide, but think about upstream, what exactly is the need? And then you can build it quicker.
Absolutely. I think that's a good way of looking at it. You mentioned also the Olympics, of course, in Paris in 2024. We had the 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games there. And I've heard that you did achieve around a 47% reduction in carbon footprint compared to previous Olympic standards. And I believe you were quite involved in that process.
No.
Can you walk us through that? How did you achieve that? What were the barriers? All of that.
Oh, the barriers were multiple.
I'm sure.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing is of course, you have to think about it before. I mean, try to build the whole thing like that. But take into account every single point of the building process. Just take an example. Demolition materials, deconstruction materials. Instead of having lorries coming with cement, blah, 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 if on a place where there was something, there was an old city or if you retrofit that, you reuse these materials, it's minus carbon of the low. The same thing, this is things that people understand easily. Another thing is that in a lot of cities, big cities, you have a thing called rivers. Well, river is something which is useful to bring material instead of taking lorries. And then in the way to build, because this is just part of it, in the way you build, think about wood. Wood is much less carbon footprint than anything else. And before, we had people saying, "Ooh la la, impossible! You can't bring wood in big towers because firemen cannot go if it's which sounds right, except that today you know how to have wood material, which is not easy to. I mean, for a fire, it's not easy to go to this as with a concrete. So things have changed, and to use wood, to use a new system of preparing all the material for the new buildings. I won't go into detail, but because then it will be a little bit techniques. But this is the way. But it's step by step. If you don't take it step by step, you'll never go over there. And then for the existing buildings, all the thing is to get it to the right level of isolation or techniques today, which can help going to more circular economy. And that's the key word of the whole story, circular economy. One of the best things, when I give lessons, if I can say so, or speeches in universities, I said one of the best example of circular economy is waste to energy. We have plants everywhere in the world who are producing energy from waste, and this is the best example. I mean, it's less waste. What's still there at the end of the process? It's a very small part of the previous waste in terms of cubic meter, and you produced clean energy. So all this, and or another example on circular ecology is today the heating of the computer, as you know, can be recuperated to make some energy.
Yeah.
Think about another example, just for the people who are listening to this, to understand. For the Olympics, we built a Olympic swimming arena, an enormous one. Just think, for those of our auditors who went to Paris, it's an enormous arena in which you can have 5 swimming pools. You can imagine the length, the logic, everything. This, and as you know, these arenas, they are horrible in terms of carbon equation, if I can say so, because you have to air conditioning, you have to clean the water, you have to recycle, blah, 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 blah. Today, the energy of this arena is 10%, 90% is either solar energy or recovery, as we say, recovery energy from the computer.
Yeah, really amazing. I like your emphasis also on the circular economy. I just have a follow-up question there, because what I see, of course, there's a lot of really cool circular solutions out there, innovations. You might have seen some today also, or over the last couple of days here. There's a lot of great innovation, but of course, with most innovation, the problem is scaling this up for cities.
Absolutely.
Do you have any examples that you've seen that have really worked at scale of these?
Yes, we have a lot of them. The things we are trying to innovate, and then we think does it work or not? And if it works, I'll give you an example. It's a bit technical, but let's go. There's for the Olympics again. We decided we checked with a scientific commission. One of the startups said, look, as you know, during the summer, you have some bad particles for the breathing, etc., and pollution. We know how to make it. It's like it looks like an enormous mushroom, if you want, and which aspires the pollution particles.
Yeah.
It's just take them, and we thought this is bullshit or this is serious. We tried. Finally we decided that it could be serious, and we put it in the Olympic village. In fact, particles are very dense when it's very hot. It was not a very hot summer. So it was not completely compliant to what we said. Though, on the same time, and I think that for our auditors this will mean something, we put a little one into a little of these mushrooms into a primary school which is next to the Olympic Village and which is under two road autoroutes, speedways, where the carbon emissions are great. In this school, before, 40% of the boys and girls had things to help them breathing. Since they have that, zero. That's not us who said it. It's the director of the school. They said a semester after, zero breathe help.
So how can we get more of those learnings out there then? Because, this is amazing. If you have such good results from this project, then why not every school, right?
Well, it's a very good question. And I'm a scientific basically, then I make stupid other studies, but we are not going to say that we made everything right.
Yeah.
But this is science. Yeah. Sometimes you try something and it doesn't work. So yes, we also had failures. I won't go into it because that's not the question. But just to say, we are not saying we did everything well. We had some problem. Now, to go to your question, we talked about that, and we have more and more. But if you make a tweet on that or a podcast on that, it's not because of that everybody will do it. So it takes time. But if you never try, you never have it. So, but we know that some of the delegation we received in Paris thought about that and are thinking and are proposing to the company which did it to, let's think about how can we do it. The problem is that for this example, which is not the case for everything, but for all this, it's a tiny startup, so they can't deliver in China next week, right?
Yeah.
But it's we're trying to help them, and Smart City Barcelona is a good example for these examples to
reach more. Reach more people, and I think it's also our goal, right? As
sure,
you mentioned,
exactly. This is why I'm talking here.
Very good. I also want to talk a little bit more about the retrofitting of the buildings that you mentioned. I understand that France's approach might be a bit different than other countries. Yeah. Can you talk about your approach to retrofitting?
Well, the thing is that we're considering that if you want to have a new neighborhood completely different, sometimes you say, okay, first we bring everything down, we wash it, if I can say so, to be sure everything is clean, and then we rebuild. And we say, no, guys, that was the former system. Today, let's see what we can save, which probably is going to be not all, but for those parts that can be saved, would probably be less expensive to retrofit than just bring it down and build something new. Number one. Number two, I was talking at the beginning about demolition materials, the construction materials. Till now, and even in France, to be honest, and everywhere in the world, if you have somewhere where you put down a tower, a building, you see dozens of lorries taking the concrete, the cement, and bringing it to somewhere else. No, leave it here, if I can say so, and retrofit it. It can be the material for a new concrete, etc. And I won't go into detail, but you can see that piece by piece, in a sense, it's in the mindset of the architects, of the public authorities, of the private sector, of everybody, of all the stakeholders of the city, to think about retrofitting is very often, now, it couldn't be before, but now, because of the techniques, is easier and quicker, and sometimes much less expensive. Just a last point on that. This afternoon we have a conference on this, and I will give other example, which is Hong Kong. Hong Kong, as you know, has 8 million inhabitants. Whatever happens in 10, 12, 15 years, there will be 9 million people. The problem is that Hong Kong, all the islands, because there are a few islands, are busy, if I can say. You can't build a new island. So how do you put the next million people? So this is a very good example of how do we do that? And we had delegation of Hong Kong coming to France during the Olympics, because part of the retrofitting for the Olympic Village was there, to think, how do we do with existing buildings to put them down, but use all the materials and making either higher or bigger to welcome more people? I mean, it's a very easy question. And I think Hong Kong is a good example for us, for all countries, and because we, not only with local companies, but also with a lot of French companies installed over there, we took we elaborated a green book together with the authorities, saying, what can we do to put at best the idea or the equation of circular economy? Today, we were talking about waste to energy. One of the biggest plants of waste to energy is operated by Veolia in Hong Kong, and is producing more and more energy, clean energy, with the waste existing, because you cannot put, when you're next to an ocean, the old habit. I'm not saying Hong Kong or anywhere, including in France with l'Océan Atlantique. We put things in the ocean and said, okay, but that's old time. You can't do that anymore.
Really an interesting example with Hong Kong as well. So, what do you think is the biggest bottleneck that cities are facing on this journey? What is the biggest remaining challenge that they need to confront to be able to really complete this goal? Let's say, I guess it's not a completion, right? It's always ongoing, but to get to where they need to go.
I'm afraid I'm going to answer a little bit aside of the question, not to, we'll come to your question, but the major issue when I see mayors everywhere in the world, with the biggest city in India or in Latin America or where else, or in Asia, the biggest challenge is not the retrofitting. The biggest challenge is the slums. You can call it favelas, whatever, bidonville in French, the word you want. The reality is that this is just not possible. we were talking in June with the mayor of Cape Town, South Africa. And here we met with South African people. We cannot accept when I say we, all people, we cannot accept townships or equivalent to go the same way. This is not possible. It's our responsibility. Not only the French people, not only the so-called people in charge, but everybody. And when I meet a mayor, again, wherever in the world, he says, look, okay, we'll see, we can have a superb metro or cable car or whatever, and new potable water and blah, blah, blah. By the way, we still have problems with some sort of, again, take the word you want, but no, this is not possible. We're not allowed to do that. It's not possible that as I said, 1.7 billion people are in cities, called cities, that have no access to electricity or water. This is not to make it shiny for the French companies, because it's not only the French company who can solve that. It's all the people. It's not I'm not answering your question. It's that on top of each country, the decent way to live is the first priority. And to give these people access to energy, access to, you know what? I was talking about Prime Minister Modi. He said, my problem, after saying 10 people per minute, he said, my principal problem today is toilets. You can say, okay, why the hell the Prime Minister of an enormous country like that is talking to somebody with a delegation, chairing a French delegation of 40 companies, talking about toilets. And somebody, maybe you have people who will kind of laugh about that. But no, the problem is our problem. And I'm very happy that in smart cities today, here in Barcelona, we also have this question coming out of the existing less well behavior of I don't know what's the right word, even in French, but we're not allowed to have that kind of second class existing cities. And again, we have it in Europe also. We have to take care of that.
Yeah, it's good thoughts to leave us on. I think that for the main interview, I want to now go into one of our segments.
Yeah.
I know that there's still a lot of work to be done, as you were just mentioning, a lot of things that we need to focus on more. But I also want to go into our segment now that's called Shout Out.
Shout out. Mention a person, an organization, or a city you think deserves more recognition in the field.
Ooh la la, if I take as a name of a city, I will have 2,084
So
mayors.
forget the cities. Maybe a person or an organization that you think is doing incredible work.
You know, I was talking with the head of this conference, the team who make a splendid work, really splendid work, year after year, and they said, I will answer your question, but one of the reasons this year we're just talking each year, you know, how are you, have a coffee. And they said, for the first time, you, the French, brought to your pavilion a Club de la Ville Durable, Sustainable City Club of Côte d'Ivoire. This is interesting because it's not a company, it's not a city. What is it? So I think this, and I'm just coming out of a meeting with people from Santiago de Chile, and they said exactly the same. What is that Club de la Ville Durable in Côte d'Ivoire? And the answer, and this is something that I think SWEC Barcelona will take, and they asked us to invite more of our clubs existing in the world, because it's the way of considering that the thing is not to bring good points or bad notes to a city. The thing is to prepare everybody together to find solution and to bring solution, not to think about it, but to deliver. And our Club de la Ville Durable are based on this idea. A city is the sum of all the components. It's a puzzle. If you come with all the guys of the different pieces of the puzzle, then you have a better chance to give the right answer to the question. So now, if I go to your question more directly, I wouldn't. I talked about Hong Kong. I could talk about a lot of different cities, but I think that what is exciting me and all my teams is that we have more and more cities around the world, in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, thinking about the fact that they have to prepare the 2050 cities and not the 20 for the 5 years coming years. They have to prepare it and think globally and, try to put all together. So, what's the best city? I should say Paris, but I won't say Paris because this is too easy.
It's not about who's best, but maybe it's a specific area that they're best in, right? So
No, because you could talk about a lot of...
Every city has its strengths and weaknesses, right?
Exactly. So. If you talk about Tokyo, you have a lot of things very interesting. If you talk about... But you can talk about Cape Town, as I said, you can talk about wherever in the world, and you have... the best and sometimes the worst.
Absolutely. But you want to shout out basically the club, the clubs of cities for the work that they're doing. Yeah, I also agree. I think these organizations also are becoming these types of organizations are becoming more and more important.
Yeah.
I was talking on the podcast with some other stakeholders yesterday, and I mentioned, you would think in the digital age where it's so easy to stay connected, why do you need these organizations that connect? But you need it more and more now than ever before, I think, in the digital age. So, last question I have for you. It's a question I ask every single guest that comes onto this podcast. And we are at a Smart City Expo. And it's, to you, what is a smart city?
A smart city is a city which is... helping the people to live the best way, whatever their revenue is, where we meet again the question of the slums.
Yeah.
The best city is the city in which you can give our children, and for me, my grandchildren, as I said before, the best chances. That's it. When we built a cable car in one of the cities of Colombia, the people. Let's be blunt, if I can say so.
Absolutely.
Some of the people told us, "You'll never do it. You have peaks everywhere." I won't name the city, but because we have the problem in. Don't go over there. It's bullshit. It's okay. We said, but they wanted, and the problem was that this part of this city was a crossroad for all sorts of problems of heroin, all the different horrible things you can have, drugs you can have, right? And so when it was decided by the city to launch the process, we were not sure, and the company which did it, French one, was not sure they would wanted to do, because the drug cartel said We don't want that because people will come and it's not our protected area. The mamas, the ladies over there said that cable car, we need it. For our children to go to school. Simple as that.
Yeah.
For our grandmother to go to the hospital. They can't walk up or go down, and they can't take a taxi. They have no money. And the team was there, French team, said, okay, but we don't want to have a problem with the drug system. They said, we take care of that. If there is one problem, we the mamas, we will take care of that. This is operating since 10 years. We had not one problem in 10 years. This is the answer to your question. It's to prepare this generation to have access to university, to the city. And you can say, okay, that's for developing countries, but it's the same in our countries. Look at Spain, look at France, we have problems. So this is the way we all together, and the private sector has a responsibility. The public sector has a responsibility. To sustain a smart city is a city where tomorrow is smart and sunny for all the people.
Absolutely. Very well said. And with that, I just have to give you a big thank you for spending this time with me. I know it's a busy time. We're a bit tired. It's the last day. So there's a lot of talking still for you. So I really appreciate your time and energy that you put into this.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. À bientôt. See you next year.
See you next year.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. And thank you, of course, to all of our listeners. This also wouldn't happen without you. And don't forget, you can always create a free account on babel-smartcities.eu. You can find out more about different use cases, solutions, and more. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for listening. I'll see you at the next stop on the journey to a better urban life.